And the sentencing for these, again, guilty pleas coming up in federal court in December. But again, questions about the legal strategy here from his defense team to plead guilty here and then file a motion saying because of that, the state charges should be dropped. So more insight on that. Let's bring in another criminal defense attorney here in Minnesota. This is Bruce Rivers, Rivers Law Firm in Minneapolis. Thanks for taking time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I understand from the information, your biography, I mean, you've got plenty of experience in both state and federal court. So I want to begin there with these dual prosecutions and the defense team saying that, filing a motion saying there's a double jeopardy issue at play here. What is your take on them making that motion and their arguments that he can't be tried twice for the same incident, even though the charges are different?
Well, here's the thing. Most, like Minnesota and most states, have what they call a serialized prosecution law. And what that means is if I am being charged in, federal court for acts or occurrences that are, the same set of circumstances, I can't be charged in state court. So that's, I think, where they're going with that. But keep in mind, it's not double jeopardy because it is actually two separate sovereigns. Mm-hmm. You've got the federal court is the federal United States government, and then the state court is a separate sovereign. And so it's not necessarily double jeopardy, but like New York and other jurisdictions have serialized prosecution law. So essentially to protect you from double charging for the same conduct.
So do you find that in your view, and again, you practice here, this is New York law, do you think that this motion then carries weight or not? I mean, how do you foresee this proceeding?
Not on double jeopardy grounds, but New York does have a similar serialized prosecution law. They call it something else, but I think it does have some teeth, and it is a strategy that is a little risky, because if it doesn't work, guess what? He just admitted to the facts in federal court that they can use now in state court.
Yeah, I mean, they could use his quotes on the record in federal court against them, essentially admitting to the crime and admitting to the elements in the state charges. One is murder, and then there are gun charges or weapons charges, and he admitted to shooting Mr. Thompson. He admitted to printing the gun with a 3D printer. I think that. Go ahead.
It's just a risky strategy, in my opinion. If you remember when this case was first brought, his lawyers were all gung ho, and they were like, "This is going on, and this is going on, and this is going on," and they did some pretty good work in the pretrial motions. But at the end of the day, it was all smoke and mirrors, because look where we are now,
Well, there's plenty of video evidence here, and that's was brought up in the hearing today, is the video evidence showing him arriving, and the video evidence then that we've all seen showing him on the sidewalk, and then his admissions. I think the legal doctrine you may have been talking about is the dual sovereignty doctrine in New York. Does that sound right?
Yes.
But again, how does that apply here when the federal charges are stalking and the state charges are murder and weapons? I mean, they're not being tried for the same, maybe the same event, but the actual elements that you're prosecuting are different. I mean, does that make a difference?
Not really, because it's the conduct that we're talking about here. If you're being punished for the conduct, and it's the same exact conduct in state court, that's what really matters.
Okay. So, I mean, do you think that this defense strategy could be then ultimately successful for his defense team?
Well, he's got a good team. I mean, he's got a really, really good team. And so they must have done the research, and they must be fairly confident that this is the right thing to do. I just think it's risky, and it seems to me that you would want to get all the different prosecutors on board before you made this kind of call. You know what I mean? But it could be the fact that nobody wants to be on board. You know what I mean? Because it's such an outrageous crime. Mm-hmm. So doesn't he have charges in Pennsylvania too, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't have that info in front of me, but yeah.
He's got in 3 jurisdictions. It's the Manhattan DA's office, it's the Southern District of New York, and then you've also got the Pennsylvania court. So it seems to me the best thing for him to do would be to get everybody on board. I mean, avoiding a trial here is probably the best thing for the family, best thing for the court, obviously, and you don't create this big. I mean, because a trial like this would probably take about 3 or 4 weeks.
It would take a while. The jury selection alone could take a while as they're trying to find,
not in federal court. It would take a day in federal court.
In federal court, it's very short. Yeah, I'm talking about the upcoming state trial. The jury selection alone there could take a while. The trial itself could be very expensive and drawn out.
Well, he's got plenty of GoFundMe money.
Yeah. So do you see this then as a surprise in any way that this was just flat out guilty pleas to these, that there was no plea deal, there was no plea bargain? It was just flat out pled guilty to these 2 federal charges?
Right. This is a calculation on the part of the defense to eliminate the more serious charges in state court. Right, to tie the hands of the prosecutors in the Manhattan DA's office.
Okay, well, it'll be very interesting to see how the court responds to this, and then the response from the prosecutors too to this motion, which we've yet to see. So
it's an intriguing issue, and I've litigated this here in Minnesota many times, and it's pretty cut and dry here. You can't be charged in Minnesota for something that you're going to be punished for in federal court.
Well, how does that then affect the Vance Belter case? He pled guilty in federal court. There is a state court trial, or charges proceeding against him. How is that different?
So if the state court goes first, it's funny that you say that, because the feds are not bound by the same law, right? So if the state court goes first, which I think has already happened, right?
No, not here. No.
Okay. Well, if the state court goes first, and then all of a sudden the feds have to go get special permission from DC to do this, but they can proceed even though, I mean, look at the Derek Chauvin case.
Yeah,
that's what happened in that case.
Yeah, the state went first, and then the federal case was second. That was civil rights violation charges.
Right, but it's the same conduct.
Yeah.
But they had to get special permission from DC to prosecute that case.
Okay. Very interesting. Appreciate you taking time for us today to try to make sense of this for us. So
no problem.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you much. That is Bruce Rivers with the. Let me find the information here. With the Rivers Law Firm in Minneapolis.